Thank you for clicking on this video. I'm your trainer Jasper Bravo. This is Just Beast Fitness. Okay, on this video, I'm going to take you through the process, do's and don'ts on doing push-ups, and why you're doing push-ups every time and you're not building your chest. And we're starting right now. And we're going to start with the things you're not supposed to be doing. Number one mistake that you're doing when you're doing your push-ups, so your chest just can't grow, because trust me, your chest can grow just by doing push-ups. And number one is the fact that you're just doing your reps too quick, because you're told you're supposed to do 15 reps or 10 or 4 sets. No, you just want to rush through the reps and finish up. Then you'll be feeling pumped and telling yourself, I just did if somebody asks you, you're done working out? Yes, I just did 4 sets of 10 or 15 reps. But what really happened when you're doing your stuff is that almost all your reps were quarter reps, because you're doing them too quick. You're not even engaging your muscles, and you're not even feeling the muscles, because number one thing, when you're doing your push-ups or when you're doing any type of resistance training, you're supposed to feel that muscle. You're supposed to allow the muscle to do the work rather than the joint. And you can only do that if you're really controlling the movement rather than just throwing your body around or throwing the weight around. So number one mistake that you might be making is that you're just doing those reps too quick, because you want maybe people to see you as somebody who can do them really, really fast, which is okay if you are doing it for a challenge. But if it's just for the sake of you getting stronger and having that big chest that you've been looking for, then maybe you just needed to do your reps a bit slower. And number two, the another mistake that people just make so much that makes them just not build that chest while doing their push-ups is the fact that they're just doing their push-ups half reps. Halves in that you don't go as deep as you can, because what really you need to do anytime when you're doing that push-ups for the sake of the muscle or hypertrophy is the fact that you need to really go deep down and stretch that muscle, because the muscle grows best when it is under tension. Then tension is applied to it when it's under stretch, and that happens when you're on that as low as possible, where that muscle is really stretched, where you can't go any further. Then you push it back, and that only happens if you are doing this by making sure that you just don't do those shallow reps, because I see people doing very shallow reps and you'd be wondering why maybe you're just not building a chest. It's because the fact that you're not going deep enough, because if you really go deep enough, your chest will get that stretch that you really want for the growth of your chest. And number three, another mistake that you might be making also is the fact that you're making the stance or the grip or the width of your push-ups really too wide or too close. And this is the difference. Anytime when you do your push-ups really too wide, what happens is that you're really going to concentrate more on your shoulders, because the weight is so far away from your chest, for lack of a better word. Because when you widen your grip, and your grip is the only way you're connected to your chest, it means that when you push that your weight away from the floor, what really happens is that your shoulder, because is the part that is overstretched the most, tend to be the one doing most of the work. And if you're a person who makes this mistake, you'll notice that if you've been doing that, you'll notice that most of your push-ups are just, you do them and you notice that your push-ups make you feel tired or sore on the shoulders, or the following day when you wake up, you notice that your shoulders are sore rather than your chest, and it's because you're doing push-ups when the grip of your arm is just too wide. And how about what's the mistake why is it not also right to do it really close? Because there are people who say that if you want that inner part of the chest to grow, you need to do it really close. That is very wrong, because really what really makes this line to be seen is the fact that if you grow enough muscles, when there's enough pec muscles which have grown, that line will just come automatically. The same way the line on the back, there's no workout for bringing that line. You just need to build enough mass over there, then the line will appear automatically. So the same with this one. If you want to build that line, you don't do it by having a close grip. In fact, when you have a very close grip, this close, what happens is the fact that what really happens is you're going to be training more of your triceps, and after doing that set, you'll notice that your triceps will be more worked than anywhere else. It's because when the grips are really close, the triceps let's do most of the work, because your chest is in a relaxed position. But when at least you open your chest, it tends to do some of the work by pushing your body away. Another mistake also that you might be also making is the fact that you don't do your reps to failure. Every set that you do, you should getting at least as close as possible to failure, or at least get to failure. And how do you do that? Is that when majority of you guys, you do your sets and you still have so much energy, you're pumped, because you are supposed to do 12, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, then you're done, I'm going for the next set. But what's really happening is you're really not improving much, because you're not challenging your body. But that time when you really go and you're really struggling, because now there's this difference on how somebody who has gone to failure. Somebody who has gone to failure only finishes, and you can see that they still have some left in the tank. They still have some energy left in the tank. But somebody who goes to failure or beyond, you'll find that even sometimes lifting your body off the ground would be impossible. That's when you know that you've really hit failure, or you're close enough to failure. So you're supposed to be at least 3 reps away from failure. But when you find yourself that you're finishing and you're still strong, and the last rep was not a struggle at all, it means you're maybe 5 reps or 6 or 7 reps away from failure, which means you have so many reps that you still could have done that could have made you grow further. So if you do that, you're going to grow a chest. And this is now what you need to do. You need to make sure that now, one by one, make sure that your width of the chest, of the grip, is somewhere about just a little bit wider than your shoulder width. Then number 2, you go as low as possible, then you come up. Because another mistake you guys are making is that when you do your sets, instead of pausing in the bottom, you pause at the top. And the problem with pausing at the top is the fact that when you pause at the top here is where your muscles kind of are relaxed. It's not working at all. And that's why you usually find some people just going the lower part of the sets, which is okay. You can do that as your finisher part, where you just go deep and you don't come all the way up, because when you come all the way up, kind of your muscles relax. So always I advise that when you're doing your push-ups, make sure you go all the way down, and if you have to rest for a few or maybe for half a second, you do it down there, then you come up. But when you get up here, you make sure you come up and you spend the least possible time up here. So you just get to the up, then you go back down. You can rest at the bottom, then you come up. When you got at the top, you just hit that the top part, then you go immediately back, because you want to spend as little time as possible on the relaxed part, and you want to spend as much time as possible on the tensed part of the muscle. And that's how you build your chest if you're using calisthenics or just your body weight, because you can build a big chest. Personally, I built my chest just using push-ups when I was in high school, where you could not access weights, you could not access. Of course, sometimes you could get weights, but they could get taken away by these teachers, and now you have to work out anyway. And we only just used to survive on push-ups. And when you look at us, you could wonder, like, what's wrong with these guys? These guys are beasts. It's because we were just. If somebody told you that we're not doing weights, you could say that it was a lie. But the truth was, we never were using weights. We're just doing push-ups. So you can build a big chest using push-ups, and you just follow these tips and just give yourself time, and you eat well, and you're going to have that 3D chest. Because if you can't get a gym and you can't get weights, what can you do? Just use your body, because we have to be fit come what may. Zero excuses. Subscribe, and if you love such stuff, you can share it with somebody who would. And let me see you in the next one.